Vincent. And we are doing the Dance with the Stars recap today.
Yeah!
Oh, wow! So much energy. I am very happy that my sisters are here because it's fun to do it by myself, kind of, but it's more fun when you have friends. Riley's at school, so she's not a part of this. Sorry, we love you, Riley. Okay, so
Queso and chips. We just ate queso. We just had queso and chips at 11 a.m.
So much queso. Okay, well, let's get into it. Last night's this was not last night. Monday night's episode was super fun. There were some really great dances. I feel like a lot of people made improvements. Some people maybe took a step back. So let's go ahead and get right into it with our first couple. Whoop whoop. Okay, the first dance was Johnny and Britt. So last week they had one of the best dances. Well, they got the highest score of the season with their contemporary. They got 10-10-9. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
I know.
The costumes were so good.
Oh yeah, they had some pretty incredible costumes.
I honestly don't think I've ever seen a male costume designed like that.
I know.
He's the only one that could pull it off.
Oh,
I know.
It was amazing.
It was so good. So right from the get-go, the look was there. They were in it. The passion, the intensity, and the commitment was there for sure. But I just think that the actual salsa technique wasn't as strong as it could have been. It was very high. They needed to get Johnny needed to get a little more grounded, a little more hip action. It just felt like everything was very much like up too much. Mm-hmm. He was on his toes. He didn't really get into it. But it's so hard because he commits so much to every style that he does that it's so fun still to watch. But last night didn't really nail it as far as the salsa. They got 7-8-7, which to go from 2 10s and a 9,
that's hard.
Mm-hmm.
That's really hard. So I was kind of bummed about the scores. I definitely thought it was better than 7s, and that was just such a huge jump. So I was a little bit confused by that, but I do also get it because it's like when you're comparing, which you wish the judges wouldn't do it, but they do compare week to week, and they want to see you get that much better. But contemporary was definitely more Johnny style, and salsa wasn't really his thing. So,
which is okay.
Yeah.
And he rocked the costume.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
He looked good. Okay. So next up we have Neve and Jenna. They have a jazz routine. Now I've been talking to Jenna throughout the week, and she said like this is a jazz.
Well, it was a jazz.
It was. Because I have to say, not gonna lie, a lot of the pros, and I've done this as well, when you don't want to have to stick to like a technical style, like if it's a song that you could do cha-cha to, but you're like, but with cha-cha there's so much technique involved, sometimes you'll just call it a jazz and just kind of do whatever you want. It's more like a freestyle. Mm-hmm. Very rarely do we get to see an actual true jazz on the show, and that's exactly what this was.
It was so amazing.
He was doing like pot of blue rays, and coupe
single
turns.
stags, and Jenna was doing her tilt in the split thing in the middle or in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Did you see like the opening point?
Yes.
It was so good.
It was very.
It really
good.
was.
It was amazing, and it was just so impressive. Like, if you don't, I think people watching at home maybe don't understand how hard some of those technical jazz moves are.
It is very hard.
So
and you usually have like a lot more training than a week to nail it.
Yeah. So the fact that he was able to nail it so well and then do it well as well, like he didn't look like he was faking it. He looked like he was doing it.
So good.
So I was very impressed. I was kind of bugged with the judge, especially Bruno, when he's like, I don't even know what that was. I'm like, what do you mean?
Jazz.
It was
well,
a jazz.
Maybe Bruno should take some jazz classes.
Yeah, Bruno getting jazz. No, I was like, wait a minute. I felt like they were making such this like big deal that it was this like crazy foreign choreography. No, that's jazz. Like that is what jazz is. It's just, you don't always get to see that on the show because not all celebrities can do those kind of movements. So I loved it. I was super pumped.
It was very good.
Props to Jenna for going full on jazz, and props to Neve for just like stepping it up.
Yeah.
Okay, they got 998, which I'm like Bruno.
They
Why
need
the
higher.
8?
They need
Why
higher.
the 8? There was absolutely nothing wrong with the technique or anything. He killed the performance. It was so much fun to watch. So I was like, come on. The 8 to me just seemed like it was because Bruno was like a little unfamiliar with what it was.
Technique,
but at the same time, it's like that's what it is.
Yeah, it's jazz.
Anyways, I would have given straight 9s. Probably would have given a 10.
Well,
honestly.
yeah, I'm about to say, I feel like they deserved a 10.
Yeah, I agree. So next up we have Monica and Val. I love Monica. I seriously think every
She's the
single week.
best.
Yeah, she just is such a cool person. And I actually got to meet her this last tour. The cast of Cheer came and we got to meet her, and it was so cool to meet her because on the show I feel like she's just this like super stern coach, but she is so nice and so fun to be around. And her and Val's chemistry and like their relationship is really cool to watch. But they had rumba, so I was a bit nervous because rumba is one of the hardest dances to teach a female celebrity. Because in the rumba, the girl does everything.
She leads everything.
Yeah, like the guy is really just the frame, and the girl has to create the action. She creates the storytelling, like
shapes.
Yeah, she's doing pretty much most of the work. So that's really hard when you have a female celebrity, but her hip action was so great.
Oh, heck yeah, girl.
Yeah, her arms were really elegant and smooth, and that's also really hard because a lot of times when you tell
really sharp.
yeah, it's like put your arm out and then they just
do it, put it out, but not like
gracefully. But
gracefully.
hip action, we had the figure 8 action going. The arm movement was beautiful. Her feet were connected to the ground, and she was giving emotion. I was super impressed with this dance.
And she got 999, right?
Yes, she did.
That was freaking awesome.
I just feel like she was really enjoyable to watch. Her face is always like in the character of the dance, and I just feel like she's really enjoyable to watch.
She's just invested, and you can tell.
Yeah.
And it's cool because she is getting better. Because if you go back to week 1, she has improved so much since then,
That's
and
awesome.
that's the main point of the show, is getting better every single week. So
Yeah.
she's nailing it. So next up we have Skye and Alan with a cha-cha. So this one, first of all, the look was, she looked so beautiful.
She looked so
The
good.
wig was freaking awesome.
Yeah, I loved that color on her.
It
And the
looked so
makeup
good.
and the costuming. Like, I just loved everything about her look. Starts out, she has that awesome split. She looks super intense and like into it, and she looks invested. And I feel like for the first time, she looks like she's not nervous. She looks pretty confident right at the beginning. And then unfortunately, she misses a step, and then it kind of just like
kept going.
Yeah, it kind of just kept going, which is super unfortunate. And like the judges said, like it happens to everybody.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I don't think any of us. I mean, Jensen.
Oh.
We need to find this footage of you.
But like we were pretty good at keeping it together. But holy crap, are you talking about my solo or the dance on the show?
No, your solo. When you forgot your solo and ran out.
That too.
We need to find that.
I've had a couple moments.
Jensen has had a couple moments. I've had a couple moments. I'm sure Brinley's had moments.
Yeah.
Point is that it happens.
It does.
But the hard thing is you do have to continue. You have to move on. You have to try to disguise it as best you can.
You have to, because I feel like in her facial expression, both of their facial expressions, it was just kind of like you knew something was happening.
Yeah.
And which is hard because it's like in that moment you freak out and you're on TV, you have people watching you, and it's so stressful. But I feel like you need to always just remember to like fake it till you make it and just kind of keep
But that
going.
one was hard because I do think like it wasn't just a small little like mess up. You could tell it really threw her off. So that's hard to come back from. And they did though. And the thing that I was bummed about is when she was doing the steps right, she was doing really well. I feel like her leg action was great. She was super sharp. And I feel like technically it was the best snippets of dancing that we've seen from her. But unfortunately, due to just that middle part, it just kind of made everything fall apart a little bit. And it makes me so sad. Like it hurts watching that. As a dancer, as a viewer, you're just like, ugh, because you work so hard all week. And I'm certain that she probably nailed it in dress rehearsal. So
that's hard.
It happens, and it sucks if it happens when you're actually, like, when it counts. And I feel for her. They got 666. So that's pretty gosh dang low.
That is very low.
And as far as, like, it just sucks. Because it's like you get it because obviously it kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
But then it's not like you feel like they didn't try. You know that she worked so hard all week. You know that she definitely did nail that routine probably 3 hours before.
She didn't deserve a 6, but
I know.
The dance deserved a 6.
I know. It's hard, yeah.
It is very hard.
I probably would have given higher just because I would feel bad, but I don't know. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we have Vernon and Peta.
This was my favorite dance.
Literally, he's so freaking cute.
He's so cute.
He literally, no matter what situation he's in, he's smiling. And it's like the cutest smile. He looks like he's having so much fun. I was really sad when he got eliminated. Their dance was really good.
I thought it was really good. I thought he got into this one so much. And I was pumped because I feel like I was expecting to see a cha-cha from him way earlier. I'm like, when are we going to get to see him do a cha-cha or like something that's a little more light and like fun, because you can tell that's who he is. And I loved it. I thought he absolutely nailed it. I will say he was off time, and props to Peta, because there's times when your celebrity will go off time, and as the professional, you just go with them so that it's not as noticeable. And people didn't really notice. Like I think Derek was the only one who said, I noticed you being off time, but the other judges didn't notice. But props to Peta, because I feel you, girl. Sometimes you just gotta go with your celeb.
You gotta be wrong.
You just gotta go. Just like, okay, he's moving, we're going. But I was so sad to see them go as well, because he's been so fun to watch. He's gotten so much better.
Energy.
Yeah. They got 777, which, I mean, for them it's a decent score, because I don't think they've been getting any like much higher than that.
But they deserve more.
But yeah, I probably would have
at least 8.
Yeah, at least 1-8.
Yeah.
But it was still fun to watch. Okay, up next we have Daniella and Nelly. Honestly, he's one of my favorites. Like, Nelly is seriously one of my favorite people on the show.
Good.
He's so fun.
He seems so genuine and sweet.
Like, every single week he shocks me, because I just did not expect to see this much like genuine excitement and care from him week after week, because the competition is hard, and it's hard to always be positive and like excited about everything that you're doing, and
you're exhausted.
He's so good. So they had a beanies waltz, which I'm like, okay, let's see how this goes, because he's pretty much throughout the whole season, I feel like his biggest downfall is that he's just very flat-footed. He's not very good at rolling through his feet. He's kind of just a little bit stiff in the footwork action, but up top he's actually pretty graceful and good at acting and portraying that. First of all, shout out to him being like a huge country fan. That made me so happy. Yeah, he's a country fan.
Of course.
I know. I'm like, yes. And then they danced to Tim McGraw. They danced to Humble and Kind, which...
Oh, that's a really good song.
I know. And it made me miss dancing, because I did that one with David Ross. And I was like, oh, so cute. But anyways, I thought it was really good. Again, every single week, I'm just like, wow. Mm-hmm. Like, he just like... gets better and better.
What are their scores again? I don't remember.
They got 888, which is
That's
awesome.
Really awesome.
But at the same time, like, his technique, I don't want to say like, I love him so much and I love his dancing, but I also understand like his technique is not perfect in any way. Like, he still does have a lot of improvement to do with that. Like, there's still a lot for him to grow and learn, but I honestly don't even care, because you
just love him.
Yeah, I just love him, and I think he's so fun to watch. Am I the only one, or do you guys like watching him too?
Awesome. Oh no, he's so good. I remember you telling me at the beginning of the season, just like, oh, I don't know about Nelly. He might be a little like stuck up or not really invested, but I feel like he's been so invested.
He's been incredible.
And like just a good guy.
Yeah.
Just a really good guy.
He's been awesome. I really like watching him. Okay, next up we have Jeannie and Brandon. They're doing a rumba. Again, just like with Monica, rumba is hard for female celebrities. And I've actually been FaceTiming with Jeannie and Brandon pretty much throughout the whole competition. Brandon will just kind of call me if he's like, okay, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? So I actually got to see this dance beforehand. I got to see it in rehearsals, and it was so cool, because the last video I got from them, I think, was on Friday, and there was still a couple things that needed to be kind of tied together and fixed up. And then come show night, the amount of improvement that she had throughout the rehearsal week with this dance was insane. Which is, I mean, that naturally happens, but it was so cool to see that. It was so cool to see how comfortable and confident she got. And also seeing the emotion that she brought to it. I know this was really emotional for her. It was dedicated to her family, and seeing her handle the emotions, the genuine emotions, but still be able to be focused and like get through the rumba. Because that can be hard. Sometimes when you like get hit with like real emotion, you blank or you lose it or you can't focus.
And I think another thing too, people to understand is they stand there right before they're about to dance, listening to the package. So they're standing there listening to it, probably getting emotional from hearing, you know, the story or just even talking about it.
Yeah.
And then they have to like pull it together and do a dance. So I think that's just really cool of her that she just was very professional and was able to get through it, but still showed emotion.
Yeah. And that is the first time that we see the packages. So it's not like we've seen the package, so it's like you're just hearing it again. That's the first time you're watching yourself be emotional about something. So that can be a little bit hard to handle. So she did so good. I loved it. I thought it was beautiful, graceful. Her hip action was awesome. Her arms looked beautiful. They got 889. I was so happy. This was her first 9.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and they've been really, really wanting that. So I was pumped. I think they were both super happy, and I just want to keep seeing them get better and better. Next up, we have AJ and Cheryl. They're doing a samba to Mi Gente. It was so funny because 2 songs tonight. I was like, I danced to this before. It was very fun. It was like a throwback for me.
Oh, what and roll to the right, to the right, to the right.
Sorry, you didn't nail that very well.
That wasn't that good.
But I was so excited because the song comes on. I'm like, yes, I love this. Nostalgia. I have to say,
you and Jordan did that, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a fun one. So, okay, they do samba. I thought he really got into like the rhythm and the vibe of the samba. I feel like he was a little more comfortable, he looked a little more at ease in this routine that I've seen him in the past couple weeks. And I think he did the samba technique really well. Like, I think he really
Which is hard to do.
Yeah, which is really hard. Samba's also another awkward one that's just a little bit like, the movements are not natural in any way. No. Yeah. So I thought he did an incredible job. I think one thing that I would just adjust with him a little bit is his focus. I feel like he looks down a little bit and he's not projecting as much out to the camera. And that's just something when you're watching at home, you want to see the celebs look down the lens and like perform to you.
Yeah.
So that's one thing, but great samba. They did so good. They got 999, which I think is totally fair. I think he did a really good job, and he is getting better every week, and he's coming out of his shell more and more, which I love. Okay, so Chrishell and Gleb are next. They have a really emotional package, and I just like am so impressed with her sharing that story because it's super personal and emotional. Yeah. And then also being able to like pull it together to dance. Yeah. That's impressive. So props to her, and such like a beautiful story, such a beautiful tribute to her parents. Yeah. I loved the song. I loved everything. I loved
the mood of it was just very pure and awesome.
Yeah. And she put so much into it, which is so good. And that's something that from day one has been my favorite thing about Chrishell, is that she really like emotionally invests herself in every single dance, which is not always the case. Usually like you'll have dancers that are like, okay, they're doing the steps, but I feel nothing from them. Yeah. And she's very good at getting you to feel something. Yeah. Contemporary's fun because there's not a lot of like technical rules, so you can really just like, it's really more about portraying emotion and story, and she absolutely nailed that. Yeah, the judges did say though, and I agree, she's just got to point her feet. That's something that is,
if you're not a dancer, that's hard. Yeah, because it's like
it's really hard
to point.
Yeah. And also when you're dancing barefoot, it's even more apparent. Yeah, so that's the hard part. Yeah, it's like they're a little bit more on display. And also when you're doing lifts, which I have to say, they did so many lifts and she handled them so well.
They were awesome.
Like you did, like I just feel like that's something that you don't really know how to do until you're just thrown into it, and she handled it really well. So the only critique is that she should point her toes, but
just watch those feet.
But it's hard.
It is hard.
I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah, usually it's just feet you walk on, not that you like point
you have to like
in your life.
think about it.
Yeah.
And then they got 888, which I think is a great score. I think I would have given a 9 just because of the like connection to the emotion and the storytelling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same.
Because I just believe that's so hard to teach, and she did such a good job. So that would have been my score. Next up, we have Kaitlyn and Arden with a samba.
It was so good.
It was so good.
She killed it.
Like her technique was so
and it
good.
just I feel like every week she comes out, every movement looks so natural.
Yeah.
It's not forced. It's not not in her nature. She just is really natural with the dance.
Yeah.
Like,
It was really good.
I really enjoyed it.
And I know Artem is a great teacher, and you can tell because she's latching onto these little technical details that I don't think at home you notice, but the reason why you enjoy watching the dance so much and why it feels like she looks like a dancer is because of those little fine-tuned details.
Yeah.
And she does such a good job. I will say, I mean, I've loved every single dance that she's done, but Derek did say something to her that really, like, I agreed with 100%. She's so good that at this point, and we expect so much from her now, that, like, there's these little tiny things that you're like, okay, this would make it that much better.
Yeah.
But I do feel that she needs to attack everything a little bit more, and I think it comes from her eyes. I think it's a case of she's not really focused in. Like, we need laser focus, either with her in between her and Artem or with her in the camera. I think that little bit of extra bit of attack would take her dancing to the next level.
Yeah.
And I know that she'll work on that, because even after Derek said it, she's like, I agree, I'll work on it. You can tell that she wants to get better. It's not a lack of effort. So I'm excited to see her work on that. Yeah. Okay, last up we have Justina and Sasha. This dance was so beautiful. They have a Viennese waltz, and right from the get-go, she's always been very, very good at expressing her body movements and her facial expressions. So I knew that she was going to be good at this one. I thought her dress was beautiful.
Yeah, so pretty.
Everything as a whole, the screen content, like everything was just beautiful and collected together. She probably has one of the best frames, I think, on this season so far.
Yeah.
She holds it, she locks in, but it doesn't look like she's stressed about it or that
like
she's
her
tense.
Shoulder. Yeah.
It's very really relaxed. So I love them. They got 999.
Nice.
Great. I was actually shocked because we saw so many 10s last week, and then we didn't see any tonight.
Yeah.
So I was kind of waiting for that. But I guess, I mean, it's totally normal. It happens. But yeah, I probably would have given a 9 as well. I think it was really beautiful. And yeah. Okay, that was all the couples. I thought they did such a great job. We get into elimination, and I was actually very shocked by this one. We have Britt and Johnny, and Peta and Vernon in the bottom. I was super shocked to see Britt and Johnny, but then I also remembered that they did get pretty low scores this week. Yeah. So that's hard to come back from with voting when you're like, they were pretty separated from the pack with their scores, which I didn't really agree with the scores, so I think it would have been different, and I don't think they would have been in danger had the scores not been so low. Yeah. But I was actually shocked too. I mean, here's the thing. I think they both are awesome. I love Vernon, but I do think Johnny has progressed at a quicker pace. So when the judges were kind of when they were like 1-1-1, I was shocked, honestly. I thought all 3 judges were going to just pick Britt and Johnny. Yeah. But then I get it. Like, Vernon has definitely shown improvement, and he's been super fun to watch. So I would have picked Britt and Johnny just because I do think Johnny has shown more growth throughout the season.
You would have picked them to stay.
To stay. Yeah. I would have picked Britt and Johnny to stay. So I think they chose right. But
still sad to see him go because he was awesome.
He was. I'm going to miss his cute smile and Peta because Peta looks hot every week. So.
Hey,
But yeah, that's it, you guys.
That is the recap.
Thank you for joining me, gals. It was much more fun together.
Very fun. Yes.
Okay, well, we will see you next week. Drop in the comments below any questions that you have about the show, anything that you want us to answer or cover in these recaps.
If you agree with us, you disagree with us.
And honestly, at this point, I don't know how many more recaps I'm going to be able to do because I will have baby girl. I know.
We're just going to make you do it.
Every week. Every week.
You'll be holding a baby.
I know, I might.
I'll be holding it.
Just like in this dance, they
what
did a really good
baby? I don't know your name yet. Oh, gosh. Okay, well, thanks for watching. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.